Hey, what's up? You are tuned in and back at the Bougie AF channel with your host, Shug Avery. I just got to the place in life I was just like, I don't know. I'm just bougie. Now let's get into the show.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. You know how we do. We're just sitting here. Today we got lip gloss on so we can keep these lips smooth on these haters. All right, so if it's your first time here, this is my channel, Bougie AF. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And leave a girl a comment or two. So I know we're just returning back from Thanksgiving. I took a little break from making videos. I know people are like, what do you mean take a break? You don't even put videos out that much. I know. I've been said I wasn't. I've been said when I feel like it, I will be like doing a regular, but right now I'm just really into like a chill. When I feel like moved to be create and talk and stuff like that, then I'll do it. Like I'm not someone chasing trends and stuff like that. And granted, I know it's bad. It takes longer to build this way, but I'm just gonna do what I feel like doing until I'm comfortable. But today is a story time, and today's story time has been something that recently just happened to me. And I hold on one second. This story time is about basically saying sorry when you really shouldn't have said sorry about something. And then sometimes you like later on you think about something and you're just like, I'm not sorry for that. Like, I'm not sorry. Why did I say I'm sorry? But I think when you're trying to be like a responsible adult and you're trying to take accountability for your things you may have done in your life and things you may have done to somebody that you try to own up to it, right? You try to just like own your shit. And I'm one of those people. Like, if you really feel like I genuinely did something to you, you feel like, that you would like me to, me to know about it because it still affects you. Most definitely, I feel like, as an adult, come to me and tell me about that. Come to me and make me responsible. Not make me, but, hold me accountable to how you feel for what I've done, right? I'll either have growth or I'll be who I say I am and I apologize, or I be closed minded and just be like, oh, it is what it is, and give you that type of ignorance that roundaway ignorance, right? So I don't want to ever give that roundaway ignorance because I'm smarter than that, right? So as long as I'm approached properly and spoken to properly, it's just I'm good. We can talk about whatever. Here comes the bullshit, y'all. All right, so I know I told y'all in a few videos before, and I still got like a nail or two still left on my nails, but whatever. I'm not ripping off my nail bed to get these shits off. Y'all be all right. But here goes the bullshit. So I told y'all about these groups that's trying to bully me. Recently, the guy took my picture down in his group on Thanksgiving, and I still have his picture up in my group, and only because like you can't just decide to one day wake up and not like something I did, or if I'm doing something on the internet you don't like, to just put my picture in the back of your group, right? So I have not removed my picture because it's like, no, this is not. I'm not I'm not moving based off of you. Like this is insane. You don't dictate nothing. You're not even going to dictate this situation where you're threatening and I'm not sorry, you're bullying me, which is causing me to be threatened by random people in your group, and you want to just throw my picture up and take it on as you please, and I'm supposed to just roll with these punches as though this is normal. But this is the type of behavior that women go through in everyday neighborhoods, right? I mean, we talk about to protect Black women, and as I sit back and think about some of the things I've experienced these past few years, 4 years, with dealing with men in the inner city, I don't feel very protected. I feel like I'm expendable. I feel like I'm made to feel as though I'm less. If I'm not desirable by said men, then I have no place or no right to have high standards, or no right to have high expectations in the sense of how I should be treated as a Black woman, right? In these spaces, I have to shrink all the way down to make other people feel okay, right? And I'm not even talking about like in a relationship part of things. I'm talking about in the same space. So like if we're just talking about business, right? If I'm doing business and I kind of trying to do business, it's expected for me to be a strong woman, but not too strong in these spaces, and be respectful of the men. And, we'll just go along with what the men say because the men say, I don't join business spaces to be treated like that. I don't even in my personal life. Of course not in my personal life, but I sure so aren't going to join business spaces where women aren't treated and respected, right? For wanting to be more than just the usual overly sexed black woman and overly provocative black woman, or the woman who just like really uses her femininity and her fucking pussy um, to feel some type of value amongst men. And there are some women who use that part of them because that's how they feel valued, and that's the only way they can feel comfortable in spaces, right? I say all that to say, let's get back to why I'm not sorry. All right, so I've experienced a lot of things, so I'm still being bullied in that group by a bunch of people I don't know, and even I've heard about sprinkles of people that I do know, like in my past life, right? And when I say my past life, I mean at this point I've been out of high school for a very long time. I've been out of high school. I've been out of high school for over 12 plus years. You know what I'm saying? 15 plus years. You know what I'm saying? So when I say my past life, I am talking about I'm talking about pre-high school, right? So I have some of those people out there who just want to come forward with their stories as if though their stories have been life damaging, and they've suffered immensely from it. So I'm being bullied in a group. My picture's put up there for no reason. And let me tell you why I say this is bullying. I know people say, well, it's not a bad picture. I know it's not a bad picture. But what it is, those are 12,000 views and likes. And those are 12,000 people, right, that are subscribing to a certain type of content, right? They're subscribing to fight content. They're subscribing to drama content. They're subscribed. Like, if I had to think of it and compare it so that people can get it, these are like the drill music, artists. These are their fans. We got to put it out there. These are their fans. And I say that because they play around with things that, like, their livelihoods, right? Either fighting at people's jobs, or they're playing around with where they live, fighting where they live at, telling people to pull up, or you just have people doing things like there's a lot going on, and that's this crowd. So when you ask me why I would be so bothered by 12,000 people and my picture being posted as the backdrop on the group, I don't even think that should even be a question, right? Because if you're in that group and you subscribe to that content, and you subscribe to that way of thinking and that way of being, when you go into that group and you see someone's picture, you're going to immediately say, what's the drama? What's the problem? What we got problems with her? What's she do? And that's all I kept seeing underneath my picture. What she do now? She didn't do nothing. She living her fucking best life. Y'all are harassing her in other groups, and so your leader just puts my picture up. What do you mean? What did she do? Oh, what she do now? I can't stand her. I'm literally talking about people I don't even fucking know. Damn. And I get it. I put myself out here, so I get it. That I get that. But this is more than just like someone not being your favorite artist or someone not being your favorite person. It's intimate. It's close. My city's this big. So yeah, I am pissed about a picture because your crowd, I've never tried to ascertain. I never tried to grab. It's never tried to appeal to them. You get what I'm saying? Once I knew it wasn't for me, I was off that with trying to put my content in there. When I was in there, I was not disrespectful. I didn't come at nobody. This is all about people coming at me and me not wanting to entertain them and their foolishness because it's childish, right? So then it gets flipped because I'm the girl from out of town. Oh, she thinks she's better than people. How? I'm asking for examples of that, and I never really get that. I get a lot of whispers and just what people perceive you as, right? So then because they perceive it and they think it, and they look at certain things, they just feel like it's factual information, and they feel justified in how they feel. So it's saying that about my picture being in this group. I'm looking underneath the comments. And I'm not really too bothered by comments from people I don't know, right? I'm not gonna follow up people I don't know, right? So I think I've followed up 2 comments or 2 people in this group. One person tried to make it seem like she said something to me for clout, just being a weirdo, just trying to get attention the wrong way. Underneath comments, always acting like, just being too much. You know what I'm saying? Being too much about a bitch that you don't really know. That's whack ass behavior to me personally, right? But then there was this one comment. And this one comment, so my sister and me, my younger sister, sometimes we don't get along, right? And then growing up, we didn't get along. And she used to say I bullied her. And but the thing is, what her saying it, sometimes she would also say that I was the bully though. Sometimes she was like, "Oh, you bullied him." And so one day, this year, and it was this year, 2020. You know how sometimes you just let people just say whatever. You're just like, I don't even know how you got to that place of saying what you're saying, but okay, you just let people say. And I think this year I was just like, okay, now I need to address it because I think you may say this and people may believe it, and I think it's something that is going on or going around, right? So let me address this, right? Because this is one supposed to be one of the closest people to me. You probably know me probably the best, right? Because we shared a room. So I was like, let me really find out what this girl talking about. So my sister tells me her how she feels and da da da. And you know, long story short, because I'm never gonna get too much into like my sisters and my brothers and stuff like that, because it's just not that party. But long story short, my sister ended up telling me that she felt bullied by me, and and I guess you know at the time I've apologized to my sister several times, and you know the more and more I start to think about it, the more and more I don't, you know, you know how you're just sorry for someone, how someone feels about an experience, but you're not necessarily sorry for what may have been done. And I say that to say not because I'm not sorry to my sister, but at the same time, there has to be accountability also as you get older for how you may have behaved, or how you may have been yourself when you were younger, right? And so I bring this back to this group because in this group there was and I remember in this conversation with my sister, I said, when you say I was a bully, who was I bullying, right? Because this was very important because I think when you ask people why they say something they say, you need to find out what's the reason. Like, what are your examples? What are your facts to say what you're saying, which is a very damaging thing and can paint someone the wrong way and, you know, to really taint their character. So, you know what? If it's true, you're going to be able to list some shit off to me. And I'm like, okay, you got that. You get what I'm saying? Now you generally if I say something about someone or say something about them, I can list some shit. You know what I'm saying? I made a comment about Dionne Warwick and people thought, oh, she's so disrespectful. No, I knew where I was coming from. That's sis. Sis be out here talking shit. You know what I'm saying? But all I can do is tell y'all, like when I say something about someone or say something in general, it's not by haste. Not hastily. You see, I don't even put videos out hastily. It's not by haste that I'm doing that. You know what I mean? I've done some research. I've looked at some things. You know, I've considered a lot of things. I just don't go and just follow people and just, you know, follow behind the crowd. That's just not my thing. I am a critical thinker. I like to deep dive into things, you know, and don't be quick to just follow the crowd because the crowd can be wrong. I mean, we have 70 million people who voted for Trump. The crowd can be wrong. So I think anytime when you have people who always likes to use numbers to kind of make their point, that necessarily doesn't mean that it's the best pool of numbers that should even when you pull it back into the bigger picture of how society look at things, you kind of be like, okay, these are actually the outsiders. And that's fucked up as it may sound, and that's just is what it is. So when I think about the thoughts and opinions of peoples in these groups, in the bigger society picture, society is these are the people society frowned upon. And it's just like I'm not gonna sugarcoat that shit. Yeah, I know everything when you talk about the hood and all the social constraints that comes with it, but at some point in time, you do have to say, you know, you are responsible. You are aware of your behavior. You've been made aware, but be aware of your behavior. And the minute you start raising kids and trying to raise kids the right way, I immediately know that you're aware of good and bad behavior. You immediately know. Anytime you told a kid not to stop doing something or you try to you cheat, you know you're aware of good and bad, right? I say all that to say I asked my sister, so give me some examples of these people I bullied. My sister couldn't give me not one example. And I knew, and I've like I said, I've let people say it and just not just paid any mind because it's just like this is so stupid. And what adult is actually going to say that they were bullied, right? And to me, and I don't think there's too many definitions of what bullying is, right? I think people try to be clever with it. I think people, when trying to make themselves a victim, it's easy for them to just say, "Oh, I'm being bullied," because they may not like what's going on. I've had people, you know, come for me. I mean, come for my motherfucking neck out of nowhere. And I got up on that ass, I got up on their neck and sat on that motherfucker. So now all of a sudden I'm bullying you. And I talked about this briefly. Where the fuck they do that? Why are we paying attention to this shit? I asked my sister, there's no names. I did say to my sister, I said, I think the only person I can think of that may think that may be some bullying or may not, but probably this person, right, that's in this group, right? I say that to my sister. I say, this is the only person I can think of that could possibly come forward and really probably have something to say. And then my sister, okay, see, that person, that person. And I start to tell her why I think that. And, me, I guess 37-year-old me, I'm laughing because the shit is funny to me. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because it was funny then and it's funny now. God, it was funny. So my sister's really offended by this. She's like, you see what I mean? You shouldn't be thinking that this is funny at this point in your life and blah, 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 blah. I'm just thinking I'm looking back to a high school memory and I'm just laughing. I didn't know it was all that deep. Okay. So so whatever. Just let that go. This happened where my picture's posted in this group, and here goes the person who I was talking to on with my sister, and she's underneath the comments and was like, "Oh, I don't think she's ugly. She's a nice looking woman," which was cool. That was very complimentary. But I've known this woman since '92, and she's been messy since '92. Who's she talking about? Who this bitch talking about? I was like, what? Who is she talking to? Who is she talking about? Me? And I know what y'all saying, but didn't you say that? But no, I be saying stuff like, I mean, I was being cheeky. Yeah, I laughed. She was wearing squishy pants and like squishy dresses and shit like in high school. So yeah, I did laugh about that with my sister. But then I'm like, oh shit. She said I've been messy since '92. Damn. So I'm looking at it, I'm baffled by this. I'm baffled by this because let me give you factual information, right? I already told you I've been out of high school for almost 15 plus years, right? I've told you that, so I've been out of high school for 15 plus years. Let me tell you, the date range of when we were friends was from 92 to 96. That's 4 years. And that's the first 4 years that I moved to my town of Milton, that 02186, okay? So the first 4 years of my living in that town, we were close friends, right? So my fifth grade year, fifth grade year, I had to go to this other school called on the other side of town because I moved. So with that being said, that my fifth grade year, I went to an all white, kind of really like an all white kind of elementary school, and like we were the only black people there, right? So we were friends, like we were close friends. Fifth grade year, like I said, I moved there in second grade. So second grade to fifth grade, we were really close because we lived on the same street. So she always went to the school over on the other side of town, but we lived on the same street. So she was like my first friend that I met when I got there. Cool. So our friendship fell off, and I'm not even gonna dog or get into her business or any of that because I don't need to do that. But so we had not been friends we only been friends from like 92 to 96, 4 years, y'all. 4 years. Wait, let me show 4 years, y'all. 4 years. Not even high school years. Not middle school years. 4 years. And so when I made that comment about laughing about the squishy pants and stuff, that's something that everybody did, right? Everybody was making fun because she was like a really loud person, like really over the top loud and like really big, right? So she was one of those you would hear her before you see her type of people. And I'm not really trying to be like extra shady. I'm really trying to paint the picture of what was going on and how I wasn't the only one that was kind of, she got made fun of. And I'm not going to sit up here and I'm trying to be funny and I want to, she got made fun of. So I'm just trying to set the tone of it. And it wasn't like, oh, me laughing. Oh, look at that. No, like niggas laughed. And if you can sit up here and you can watch this and say y'all didn't laugh at somebody when y'all were that age, for real. So that's the extent of my experience or interactions with this woman in terms of after our friendship ended in 96 and us back into high school. That was the extent of our interactions in high school. I think I may have had some interactions with a couple friends of hers that I fell out with. But basically, I've been looking for why this woman would feel the urge to be in a group and provide input on somebody that, again, we've been out of high school for 15 plus years. We haven't been friends since 92 to 96. For whatever that reason it is that we fell out, we had not been friends from 92 to 96. Now, this story is so intricate, it's so long to me, but I seen her a few years back at the polling to go vote. I seen her at the polling to go vote like maybe like 8 years ago. Like it's been a really long time. And you know, just thinking it was gonna be like nothing but love, great seeing you, da da da. I didn't know it was this like chip on the shoulder type of feeling going on. So I'm thinking because it was me, her, and another girl. And me, her, and another girl were talking, and we were about to go vote. And I just remember it was chilly. Like she was very chilly for me. She was very chilly. But I didn't think nothing of it because I'm like, I know this woman is not mad about high school or elementary school at this point. We got it down to she's mad about some shit that happened in elementary school. I'm like, I know this woman's not mad about it. So, and I, you know, didn't pay no mind. I think I made mention to my little sister before, but then I then would run into her sister because her sister's cool, and I like her sister. Her sister's really cool, and we would run into each other, just catch up, and I'd be like, yo, you know, how's Coy doing? And I'd be like, how that person's doing, and da 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 da, and then we would just catch up like that. I'd be like, you know, the last time I seen your sister, she you know, she didn't seem like, you know, she too cared for me. Like, so, you know, she's mad about something. Is everything good? Like, what's wrong? Is everything good? She's like, I don't know. She never mentioned anything to me. You know, Coy be doing her own thing and da da da. Like, literally, it wasn't even. I can't even sit up here and say that sis was talking shit about her sister. No, that wasn't the case because nobody was talking shit about nobody. You get what I'm saying? Nobody was in nobody's sister's face talking shit about them, right? I was just trying to figure out what the fuck is this about. Cool. I remember telling my sister, she was like, oh, you're overthinking it. It's not too nothing. I was like, okay, I know there's something here. So fast forward to now, we're in 2020, and I'm getting the she's been messy since 92 comment underneath a picture. I felt some sort of way about it, y'all. I felt some sort of way about it. I took a picture of it. I inboxed her sister because that's the one who I'm friends with. I then get on the phone with, I spoke to her sister. I was like, do you see this? What's going on? We and her sister, I actually called her. We had a great phone conversation. We laughed and we talked. She said, I don't know what that's about. I hope she would just mind her business. She may not know all of what's that going on. Back in the comments, though, if you go underneath where she makes her comment, there's a girl who's been trying to get my attention. The one I told you, the other person that I told you I addressed in that group because she made it seem like we had a conversation. She's underneath the comments with the high school friend, and she was like shaking my head, like she's doing all this like trying to make it seem like like she's trying to. You ever seen people who are trying to find something to justify their shit? Or the reason why they got beef with you, so they trying to grasp onto anything. So she sees these comments and she's like, see, I'm shaking my head. That's all, you know, kind of basically kind of insinuated, and that's all she hears, and that's all she's heard, and blah, 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 blah. So also underneath the comments, I see that this person responds, oh, I'm already hip, sis. I already got the call. I already got the call. So I point that out to say that somebody's calling around to people who know me from my past and saying what about me? Saying what? Saying what? So, cool. I blitzed because she then tried to be slick. And now that when I sat back and thought about it, she then tried to be slick and go back in the group and be like, oh, she's mad now. Da, 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 da. And as though that's all she was going to say in explaining why she wrote what she wrote it. Like she didn't want to explain what she was saying. She just wanted to put that shit out there and let that live in the eco space. Because you know, for some people, if someone says it, it just got to be a fact. You know, and you got to believe it. You know, this person's picture is hanging up in a rec group. You get what I'm saying? And you know, we just gotta believe everything that's being said. No context, no nothing being provided. No story of what happened that you feel some sort of way about. Nothing, right? Just I've been messy since '92, and so this led to a series of me making a video, me saying some really disgusting things, me going back and forth with the sister. The sister tried to insinuate that when I called her that I was crying and breaking down and talking about these people want to fight me, just really try to put this picture of a broken person who's just like losing it, right? I was just like, girl, what was that about? Oh, you did call me. I said, yeah, I called you and said that your sister need to mind her business in terms of like she doesn't know what's going on and where shit may lead and blah, blah, blah. But nobody's breaking down. And let me tell you so funny. Niggas are so crazy and so funny. That whole time that I had talked to the sister, my mother was sitting in a room with it on speaker. You should have seen my mother's face when I told her that this girl went back and was trying to imply that somebody was crying and breaking down. My mother was like, what? I sat here. You guys talked and laughed. Why would she do that? I said, Mommy, These people are sick. These people are sick. You don't have to like what I said. You don't have to agree with it. But not one time did I resort to lying. Never. I've not resorted to lying. Not one bit. I didn't have to lie on. I've not had to lie on somebody yet. When you really speaking truth and you're really laying shit out, you don't have to lie. And I was listening to a channel I listened to on YouTube talking about dealing with narcissists. And I could say nobody hears what I'm talking about as a narcissist. But she was just talking about, the thing about the truth, it just doesn't change. 4 years later, my stories, I'm going to say stories, my truth has never changed. And it's never going to change. So I've never had to resort to lying on anybody. I was that girl sending the papers if something's hard. I'm that deep with it that I know, I'm confident like that. So videos, comments, going back and forth, that I finally speak to the sister, the one who I was in school with, the one who, supposedly I bullied. And we get to start talking, and it started off arguing and and then we hung up on each other. I called back because I was like, no, let me call back because I don't have a problem with these people, right? I don't have a beef with these people, and nor do I want to leave this conversation where things aren't been spoke about or cleared up in a way of knowing what it is, right? From here on out, right? So I was like, I can call back because I don't have sorry. Oh, yeah. In the process of moving though too, y'all. So y'all may see some boxes in the box. And that's the other reason I don't like making videos all that much. I'm just not comfortable yet. So when I feel more comfortable, my whole setup and all that. But that's my own shit. It's not an excuse. It's just how I feel, right? Because who needs to make excuses as an adult? Do what I want. It's so hard. So we get on the phone, and like I said, it was going to end really bad, and So I called back. I was like, yo, I need you to figure this out. I said, because I don't have beef with y'all all like that. And I said, for me, it's I want to see either, we clear this up and we be done with it, and But I don't need to have beef over it because I'm not mad about something. So I think we stayed on the phone for 2 or 3 hours. And let me tell you, some of the parts of it was enjoyable, but other parts wasn't enjoyable. And let me tell you which parts wasn't enjoyable. I'm sitting on the phone with somebody, and like I said, the sister's cool, but I'm sitting on the phone with an ex-friend who, when you got down to it, there's been no current interactions between me and this person. It was a whole lot of what I heard over the last 10 to 15 years, right? There were some rumors that she told me about that I was just like, this is the first I've ever heard of it, and it's not true. I just seen this person last week. I think she told me that someone told her, an ex-friend of mine told her that he had to get a restraining order on me. I promise y'all, I'm still lost. A restraining order? He told somebody, an ex-friend of mine told somebody he had to get a restraining order on me. Now, and it was so funny because me and this ex-friend, granted, our friendship ended almost 10 years ago, but even before then, I said I've been out of school for almost 15 plus, and it's heavy on the plus, okay, side of things. So if me and him haven't been friends for the last 10 years, and then you have almost another 10 years before that we've even been around each other on a consistent daily basis. So just to hear that somebody, even 10 years ago, we weren't tight and around each other every day, or I can't even fathom a reason or thought on what someone and what he would tell a judge for a restraining order. But we're talking about the lies that people tell and the things that I know that this person, this ex-friend, also has been going around trying to throw dirt on my name, and I'm throwing it back, homie. You're gonna have to come see about this. I'm throwing that shit all the way fucking back. So if you heard I said something, I said that shit. I said that shit. How long you thought I was gonna sit back and let you talk shit about me? and think I didn't know. Or I'm in the same room with you and I see you talking to shorties and I see them looking at me and I don't pay no mind, but you know, I paid mine because I'm observant like that. But then I notice in big group chats that they treating me crazy. The only link that I know is you, and again, I see you talking to them. You have a problem over here. Anywho, after speaking to her, she tells me about this that the sex friend said. The sex friend also, when she goes all the way back to high school and telling me how I used to be out here pulling up on bitches for him and that because I was my best friend. So if you were a female, you were my best friend's face. I was gonna come see about you. So I guess basically she was trying to make it seem like, oh, you were out here, you know, you were beating up and a lot of girls behind him and da 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 da. Led to her asking me, oh, did you sleep with him? Because I just had to know. I knew the chick had a crush on him back in the day, but you get what I'm saying? Like the circles that I ran in and people I was around, she wasn't in those circles because she was too loud. She was. She was too loud. She was too loud. But and just a remind you, yeah, she was just too loud. So now I'm starting to feel like this is about some mild, like you're just jealous that you were who you were and I was who I was. I'm picking up all of this, right? So she starts telling me about how, you know, she thought I slept with him. I was like, no, that was just my homie. Nothing, nothing at all. She then starts to tell me how, she asked me if I slept with him. She told me how one time he told her something about me behind my back in a sense of, um, basically basically I was going to beat somebody up or something, and he went behind my back and told her. And this doesn't even sound for real. This doesn't even sound like I don't even remember wanting to fight these people. So I don't even know what she's talking about. But again, I've been out of high school for 15 plus years. I wasn't friends with this girl in high school. I don't even fucking think I owed you if I was gonna run down. Like I don't even think I owed you it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like and then to tell me, and then she went into over the last 10 to 15 years, you know, I've heard nothing but bad things involving you. And I'm just like, what? Never tells me about these bad things that she's heard about. Like she tells me one story about this fight or something that happened at Franklin Park, and please don't get the impression I'm out there trying to fight. But no, I have this narcissistic ass DJ dude who who came to the club one night, who came, his girlfriend and people came to the club to try to jump me one night. So when I seen her at the park, because by myself, I don't have a big crew. I want to see what you're talking about. Like, what's the word? I got my brother here. Like, was you really trying to fight? Bitch, you weren't trying to fight. But you were trying to jump me, though, when you came to the club. This is what we're talking about. And this is the type of group of people that we're talking about in these groups, right? So so the person, the friend from high school who's making these comments about me, don't know this backstory. Don't know that this girl tried to jump me, but what she seen was a story. All she seen was that me, you know, kind of trying to figure out approaching her to try to see what's up. Now I say that's important because as an adult, if I don't know all the ins and outs of things and why something happened, why are you going around repeating it, right? But why are you so invested in me to be really keeping up with me for the last 10 to 15 years? I know nothing that's been going on with this woman. Other than the fact that when I've ran into her, I can clearly tell that she's been, you know, hood dick down and just really hood with it now. That's the only thing I can tell. Just really different than who we went to high school with or, you know, who I grew up with. But this was the girl in growing up, didn't go to prom, wasn't a social person. Like, you know, people, you know what I'm saying? And I don't say that to say that, but it just sounds like jealousy. You get what I'm saying? And I apologize to this person because I think we did get into a fist fight when I think and this is how I know she's lying, right? Our fist fight that happened between us was between second, third, and fourth grade. It has to be, and this is how second, third, and fourth grade, and like I literally know for sure that it has to be in those years, right? Fifth grade, I moved to the other side of town, and me and her were friends. What happened was that in sixth grade, we got into like I think it was like field day. We got into some type of argument that we did not talk that entire summer. or something like that. If we had talked out the entire summer or something like that. No, wait, because when you're that young, you summer happens. You don't kind of spend summer with your friends. Everybody goes to different camps and stuff like that. If you go to you go to a camp in a town, then you may see somebody. But outside of that, summers you don't really kind of spend around each other. Everyone's kind of out and doing their thing, so it's not like you be around each other. So we weren't around each other in summer, and what ended up happening because I was at this different school for fifth grade, which was on the right side of town. When we got back into sixth grade, all the schools, all the elementary schools became one in sixth grade. And what ended up happening is that my friends that I was friends with in school became naturally who I was with. And she didn't quite fit into that, right? So are you hurt about that? Probably so, right? But it wasn't because we got into a fight or any of these things that she made up. We just stopped being friends, and I was always okay with that. Like I wasn't like mad, but it just seems like she is. So I feel like 15 plus she at this point when we were friends, it's 27 years later, right? 27 years later, you're in a group talking about me because you feel dissed about me ending our friendship. And to the point that we're now sitting on a phone and I'm okay with where we're at, right? We're just trying to get to that place where we're not beefing and it's just going, we're going to be cordial and there's just no, there's not going to be no this weird, crazy animosity because we got it all out. Because I want to say I'm sorry for if I've made someone feel some sort of way back in the day. Most definitely. Let me think about that. No. I'm sorry for my behavior on Facebook in that video I made where it wasn't cute, y'all. I went the fuck in. I mean, it was funny. Because, me, when I'm mad and this hand get to moving, I get to create, shit comes out. But I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for the verbal accosted, I verbally assaulted. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for not having patience for when I DM'd her sister and her sister told me that she was going to have her call me, that for not waiting, right? I'm sorry for that part of it. But I say this to anybody who's holding something for me against me, from like elementary school. That is your problem at this point. I've seen people numerous times. We've seen each other numerous times and been around each other numerous times since whatever the incident happened, that I don't feel like I owe anybody an apology for anything that I may have done back then. I mean, I can think of, I'm not even going to put that out there, but if I could, I could probably think of some other people. But I will say this, right? As I sat on the phone with this woman for 2 or 3 hours, and she's talking about how she was bad herself in high school and how she owns her shit and da 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 da. But the difference between her and me is that she owned hers, and I'm just like, what the fuck do you want me to own from second grade, hon? You've said nothing that I should be owning right now. Nothing. You said nothing I should be owning right now. And the sad part is that there's probably somebody listening to this and not keeping it real. Like, okay, what is it that you want her from second grade? We stopped being friends for however reasons, and you felt your way and I felt my way. But like to be walking around and painting a picture of somebody that you don't know and haven't spoke to and you have limited access to, off of rumors, right? And that's fine. You can believe whatever the fuck you want. But when you decided to write and type something, that's like signing a check that your ass can't cash, and your ass could not cash that check when it was time, right? But on top of that, let's go back to the fact that you want to sit on the phone and talk about how you was a badass yourself and how you were fighting yourself and all this other stuff. Who the fuck have you apologized to? Would you allow somebody to make you feel accountable for behavior from high school, elementary school, while not holding them? Like, she's holding herself accountable, but she's also bragging about how she was a tough girl. Granted, I checked, we don't know nothing about it, but you can have it. But I just, I guess, why would I be sorry about second grade? And anybody else asking to ask people asking them for apologies from second grade? I probably did a lot of shit. I think everyone has did a lot of shit over across their lifetime. A lot of shit. But does that mean the woman who I am now is supposed to care? Or I'm supposed to think less of myself from something that happened in second grade? I know who I've been the last 20 years of my life. I know who I've been. So when you know who you've been and you know what you may have to be accountable, I know the last 20 years of my life what I've done to people, and I know when if time came if I had to be responsible. I know who that is already. This it was never one of them. There's only two people that I really honestly can feel at this point can say that you know what I was mad about this too. And I'm not talking about what I did on some get back. I'm not talking about you draw blood first and I draw blood. That's a different type of conversation. I'm talking about some unprovoked, I did some shit to you type shit. I mean, really, I'm really stretching for the other one. And that's not to say that I'm perfect, but I really do like to hold myself accountable in the moment. Now, if I did something over the last 20 years and you called me out and I hurt myself, I'm not talking about that. Of course, I am talking about things that I know for sure that I haven't been held accountable for. Yeah, I learned a lot. I think that's more or less like why I haven't been on it, of course, because of Thanksgiving. But like that shit just like really, and it's so funny because I text, I think I ended up sending my sister the screenshot, and I think I ended up having a phone conversation with my sister, and she was just like, "Well, you know, maybe you shouldn't have went on to Facebook," and that was fine. Like I said, I apologize about that part of it. I do, and I apologize for that part, the overreaction. But I will say this: with apologizing for my overreaction and whatever, airing her out, I have to make the point that it would have not been told that this person was lying and that there was nothing here if I did not react. Could I reacted differently? Yes, but a reaction and a public one was needed because the thing about people who lie, and from what I remember and getting on the phone and talking to some people, like this person was known to be a liar growing up, making up stories. Like that whole story, like asking me if I slept with old boy, my ex best friend, that was made up. Nobody thought that. Nobody thought that. Nobody thought that at all. Nobody thought that then. Nobody thinks that now. Everybody knew what it was like that. Like I tell people all the time, like my nature, and people are like, I'm so girly. Like I love dressing up. I love like getting dressed with my girls and going on and stuff like that. But like on my chill back away from the scene as my normal personality, it more meshes with like being a tomboy. You know what I'm saying? Like I got very like I got very I got very boyish tendencies sometimes. Like my not necessarily like how I act, but like sometimes how I think can be very strategic, can be very like can be like but I also think that's because all of my research and all my like studying of like the gangster movies and like the hood movies and stuff. Like I think it yeah, I grew up playing basketball, like I tomboyish, like very but I always like I would hang out with my homegirls in high school, but like my real like close friends was always like dudes and stuff. So that's why I did have a boy best friend. You know what I'm saying? I have a couple homeboys like that I grew up with that just know what it is. Like we just always been cool and chill. If I talk to you about game from about like knowing game from like a man aspect, it comes from that same nigga that she talking about. Like he taught me so much about men. That's why I probably like move the way I do, like or talk and think the way I think. I've seen some shit. These niggas get away with a lot. So I come from that perspective, and I just honestly think that this girl was just jealous. And so when she talked about, her having a hard time in high school, of course we lived in a white town. We lived in a white, and growing up, she was more like an Afrocentric, like Pan African kind of girl. Like her mother's the first person to teach me about Pan Africanism, and that's just to say like her mother went out her way to teach me. But like when I used to go over her mother's house, over their house, like they had a lot of like African art, and she was very like into that stuff, and so I remember just being like, oh, opened up to it, like culturally, like by her and seeing her, being quite aware of um, a self awareness of what blackness is outside of just what Black America is. And I don't know if that makes sense, but knowing that our roots from Africa weren't European like, and we had our own ways. I guess basically, I think it was my first realization of it. Like, oh, this is African stuff. You know what I mean? You're African American, but I'm talking about second grade. So I don't know if this sounds childish to you, but it was my first time seeing like, there's more here. And I've always been that type of person. Like if you sit in like if you get to know me, like I'm literally one of those people like rest in peace, Alex Trebek. I think I said that before on one of the videos. But like, I used to watch Jeopardy, and if I didn't know the answer, I remembered, and I went to go look it up. Like, I've always been that type of person. So when I would go over her house and I would see all the African culture and all the stuff, it made me curious. I want to know what Nefertiti is. I learned that how her mother really empowered her daughters, like really to be like strong and independent and know that they're beautiful, right? So her little sister, we used to call her princess, whatever, So just really getting the sense of like what black is beautiful, right? And that we're kings and queens and stuff. Like, I got all of that, and that's just by observing, right? That's by observing and seeing who they were as people, right? So well, all that said, and she was like, telling me how she had a hard time. I was like, well, I'm just really confused because I was fat in high school. I was fat. So with that being said, I said, well, I'm confused on why you think high school was so much better for me when I was big and I'm dark skinned just like you. And there was just always this woe me type of thing in the sense of like, oh, but I was just different because I was Pan African and I was natural and I was really into stuff like that. And it's just like, damn, you won't blame me for that too? Damn, I can't take no more. But at the end of the day, like, that still had nothing to do with me. So you're now wanting me to feel bad because you want to feel like my look and I wore my hair straight. You want me to feel bad because I was more accepted than you and we're big, black, and you know what I mean? And it's like, at what point is this like this? At what point people can't just you can't hold something against somebody forever. I don't know this woman and who she is as a core. I mean, I can talk generally around it, but I'm honest enough to say I can't tell you a bad thing about this woman to this day, like of like who. Well, I mean, other than what this experience is, because now I have an experience now too, right? I have an experience. I can't tell you nothing outside of this. I won't even try to paint the picture that there is something outside of this. This woman has a lot of things going on for her. This woman has a this woman has a lot of things going on for her. This woman is happy. She has a great friend circle and all this other stuff. She's this woman is. It's I'm not gonna sit here and try to say that. I can't even say that because I don't have anything to tell you that. You know what I mean? I felt like it was very tacky. I think she tried to insinuate on how she owns property, and I don't even want to get into all that. It doesn't really matter because I think it was trying to be like flexing and feeling really good about herself and who she is, who she is right now. And I was like, okay, I think she wanted to go over like all this stuff that we said back and forth to each other and we wanted to feel better. And I guess that's fine. I can understand that too. And so I was like, you can have it. I was like, okay, you said what you were supposed to. Niggas are playing it doesn't be going back and forth. I'm saying everything. I think I told her sister her makeup wasn't cute. Her makeup be cute as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying the most. So I really wasn't holding her to nothing. But at the end of the day, you're showing me even in these moments that you have some ways to go. You want to sit on the phone, oh, I just want to clear the air, but I just want to be clear, therefore going forward, I'm talking about, she talk this like this and have been talking like this since high school. I'm going forward, I just want, we are, if I see you, I say hi, but I want you to think because of this conversation we gonna be best friends. This is how I'm being talked to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning by somebody who's bothered, not me. They bothered. And now you're trying to say that you don't want to be my friend, and you don't want me to think that. And it's like, how do I not kind of even respond? Girl, I dropped you in 6th grade. What is we talking about? And at some point in time, she kept saying it. She kept saying it, trying to imply like as if though someone wanted to link up. No, I'm grown. We don't match. We don't compliment each other in terms of like I would get up and hang and chill with you. No, I promise you, no. I know that, but I'm not tacky. I'm not tacky. I know that. So the fact that this girl, maybe she wanted to feel like she just got one on her in her mind, her high school bully, and that's the only thing I could think of. I think she's doing this because she wants to feel like she's gotten up on me, right? Because that's what it is, right? I kept on thinking that's what this is. I think she wants to feel like she got one up on me. So let her have it. But I end up having to, after the 3rd time she kept doing it, I end up having to say, honey, I don't want to hang out. Why do you keep saying that? So now we back to probably me being the mean girl. You can't win. You can't win. Like her sister's more my like type of person to hang out with. She's like light and airy and fun. She's a fun girl. She's she's cute, very cute. And that's not to say the other one's not cute, but I'm just saying we match each other. That's all I'm trying to say. If you don't take it wrong, you're gonna take it wrong. But all I'm trying to say is that we match each other, and that's just that. And so it was so weird to hear her say that. I was like, I just hope she gets the help that she needs, though. I say all this to say, I'm not sorry for nothing I did in fucking second grade. If you remember anything from 92 to 96, you either call Iana, you call Dr. Phil, you call who the fuck ever, you call somebody, but you don't call me, and you don't take up my time, but you also don't be out here running and being. Oh, listen, y'all, before I go, she has said, but I'm not surprised to hear all this drama. She getting herself into something. Girl, you left a comment getting yourself into something. I'm telling you, I'll run mental circles around you. What is you talking about? Again, when you don't know what you're talking about, you just say the craziest shit, yo. You know what I'm saying? So now you feel like I'm into something. I'm in drama because of what you think you know. And essentially my picture got put up there for doing the same thing you did, and I didn't even go in on nobody. I didn't say anybody was messy. I didn't say any of that. No. I was just in another group. Yeah. You got to figure that out. And that's the art of why I tell people mind your own business. And that's that. Just mind your business. Y'all be blessed. I messed it up a little bit here, but y'all be blessed. And I'll keep it bougie and partial story time. I just had to let y'all know. Sorry, not sorry. I'm just not sorry. I think if I say some shit after we fall out, I'm really not gonna apologize for that shit because I know you said some shit. No, you said some shit. But this doesn't apply to them. But I just mean in general. Y'all be bougie. Y'all be blessed. And I know how we do it. We keep it bougie and posh. And I'm out.